What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here, back again for part 2 of what's happening in men's fragrance. If you tuned into yesterday's video, then you know it was all about the brand new designer fragrances in one niche fragrance. Actually, we're going to be talking about that today. If you're an aficionado or a collector or a hobbyist regarding men's fragrance, you're going to be super stoked and happy about today's video because we've got even more that are coming out. I'm actually kind of excited about a few of these, no shock to anyone. So guys, don't go anywhere, take a beat, take a breath, do whatever you've got to do because we've got so much coming up right after this brief intro. Welcome back everyone to part 2 of what's happening in men's fragrance. We had so many new releases that I had to split it into 2 different videos. One yesterday and today is part 2. So if you're joining me for the first time, welcome to my channel, and for all of you loyal viewers out there, thanks so much for showing up, tuning in, and loyally watching to the end of the video. Have you ever just wanted to rise to greatness and unleash the epic hero within? Well, with the new Invictus Parfum by Paco Rabanne, you can. It captures your inner legend and empowers you to conquer divine heights. Blended with exceptional ingredients, the new Invictus Parfum is a powerful, woody, watery, aromatic fragrance featuring fresh lavender that collides with a black soap accord. That sounds odd, right? Don't we use soap to wash off? In this case, black soap's an aromatic, clean, fresh, refreshing fragrance note blended with the original Invictus DNA. Additionally, there's this sensual, addictive sandalwood note, creating divinity in a new olfactive experience within the iconic Invictus DNA in a new flagon. Guys, this bottle is really cool. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the original look of the OG Invictus, but there's something about how those lines move, almost creating like the faceted look of an emerald or something that's just exotically wealthy looking. I really like the new bottle style. For all of you fans of the original Invictus, and there are many of you out there, myself included, I'm really looking forward to Invictus Parfum. Invictus has come a long way, all the way to Invictus Victory Elixir. And now we're going back to the original Invictus, to the drawing board, and creating a new parfum from that original scent profile. The iconic Invictus bottle comes with a stronger V-shaped silhouette and a gold cap to make way for a more powerful trophy than ever before. A fragrance for the half-god hero who turns life into legend. Invictus is an iconic fragrance, so I'm quite surprised that they threw together all these very small pictures. You know, if you go to their website, which I've left a link down below if you want to click it, check it out, what Paco Rabanne has done on their website. It's almost like they launched Invictus Parfum early or as an afterthought. I don't know. Maybe they had just begun putting together the web page and somehow they hit publish by accident and it uploaded all these kind of very small photos, just a few kilobytes worth because they are tiny. Either way, if you're interested, check that website out. Not available yet here in the US. Hopefully that will be soon, but it is coming in 3 sizes. You can get it as a 50 ml, 100 ml, or 200 ml bottle. So everyone who's anyone that's ever watched more than 2 or 3 videos on my channel probably knows already that I am a big fan of Issey Miyake. His legacy continues with some fantastic releases, and he's got a new one coming up that I've got my eye on and my nose on, and it is in the L'Eau d'Issey line. It's actually called L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme Solar Lavender. L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme Solar Lavender's classification is that of an aquatic aromatic fragrance. It's got a combination of a couple of notes that are quite unique, I think, and that is some aquatics and lavender. The L'Eau d'Issey line has some really strong contenders for best flanker in the line. I think this one may be one to keep your eye on. It says, with this new fragrance from Issey Miyake, pure water intertwines with a vibrant lavender. With energy and intensity, the cold merges with the heat. And of course, that's not the first time that they've ever used that contrasting cold and heat. Brings to mind, L'Eau d'Issey Fusion. Fusion and Fusion Extreme also has that whole hot and cold kind of plot device, the aquatic with the aromatic. The result is an explosion of contrast that begins with the liveliness of contemporary lavender, firmly rooted in the spirit of the times. So basically, that's another way of saying it's got a modern smelling DNA. All that we know right now in terms of notes, there's aquatic notes and there's lavender. So lavender is the primary focal point. I think it's going to be a really quality fragrance, and that's saying something for Issey Miyake because he's not really known for having great summertime fragrances, more along the lines of the heavier, incense-heavy winter fragrances. This one might just be the next best Issey Miyake summer fragrance. L'Eau de Sea Pour Homme Solar Lavender. The next new release I want to bring your attention to is one of my favorite lines from Carolina Herrera. It already came out. I am going to be grabbing it up fairly shortly, so when I receive it, I'll definitely give you guys my first impressions, but it is a 212 fragrance. It's 212 NYC Men MTV. Those of you that want your MTV are going to be happy about this gold looking release. Now, some people have thought that this is just a new look for the original, the OG 212, but it is not. This is a tobacco-based fragrance as opposed to the original formula, which did not contain tobacco. In fact, what Carolina Herrera says about 212 NYC Men MTV is that inspired by the city that never sleeps, the vibrant energy of New York through a fragrant expression of freedom and authenticity designed for the creatives of tomorrow. 212 NYC fragrances combine the progressive approach with an effortless sense of style, resulting in fresh urban scents for a new generation. Top notes of cardamom and Szechuan pepper, heart notes of gardenia, so we've got a floral note there, and elemi, so floral note, resin, base of vibrant woods, and there we have the tobacco is in the base. Some interesting notes in this new 212 flanker. I for one appreciate the original, and I can't wait for this one. I think it's going to be really good. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Tobacco is a wonderful and often sexy masculine fragrant note in fragrance, and I think Carolina Herrera is going to kind of push it in that direction. So for those of you that appreciate the original 212, keep your eyes peeled for when I drop my first impressions of this new release, this new flanker. I think it's going to be one to own. Carolina Herrera's 212 NYC Men MTV. I want my MTV. Ooh, falsetto. Givenchy has released a new unisex fragrance called Fantastique EDP. It is an eau de parfum concentration. I love the look of this bottle. Definitely is more kind of masculine than feminine. I feel like they're going to draw their line right down the middle and really please people that are looking for a good unisex fragrance in this one. Fantastique EDP's classification is that of a spicy, woody fragrance, featuring top notes of Peruvian balsam and Madagascan vanilla, heart notes of Bulgarian rose and then myrrh absolute, base notes of incense essence and then Malaysian oud. Does that not sound like a fantastic fragrance? It certainly does. It's aptly named. I think it's going to be one to own, one to try first, of course, because it is going to be a little bit costly because you can purchase it at Harrods beginning the 21st of February on into the year after that. But again, this one is going to be a little bit of a heavier kind of unisex fragrance for cooler weather, although you can definitely wear it anytime, but it's got some heavier notes in it, specifically the oud, the myrrh, the vanilla, and the balsam. All of those are a bit heavier. In fact, all of those are mostly what you would term base notes because they're heavy, they're dense, they hold everything and bring everything together. What a wonderful combination. That's going to be, I think, a fantastic fragrance, pun intended, so be on the lookout for that unisex fragrance by Givenchy Fantastique EDP. In the world of niche, never one to rest on his laurels, Tom Ford is releasing, or I should say re-releasing, the original 2007 Oud Wood to a new rendition, only this time it's going to be a heavier concentration in Parfum, or straight to Parfum. However, it is called Oud Wood Parfum. The original Oud Wood Intense came out, I think, in 2017, and so it's taking over because that's discontinued. This Oud Wood Parfum is taking its place. It expresses the various aspects of oud, accentuated with refreshing cardamom and pink pepper, blending into sensual rosewood notes. Multiple woods such as concentrated patchouli, sandalwood, vetiver, and oud are deeply rooted in undertones of amber, tonka absolute, and vanilla. The ecstasy of traditional oud pushes through, creating a powerful and mysterious wood. The sharp and elegant bottle that symbolizes private blend is colored in ink and decorated with a beveled platinum colored plate. I had to read most of that there because I didn't want to misquote, because it does describe very quickly and aptly exactly what Tom Ford Oud Wood is going to be all about. So Tom Ford lovers out there, if you're just interested in a new oud fragrance that's going to be more along the modern stylings of a Tom Ford fragrance, you definitely want to check that one out to get a sample of it, because it is a Parfum or straight to Parfum concentration. For all of you introverts out there, you'll be happy to know that Josh Meyer, the creator of Imaginary Authors, has a fragrance for you, and it is called the Language of Glaciers. I really do like the note lineup in this new niche fragrance. It's going to have notes of white pine, lilac, cashmere, juniper, forget-me-not, blue bugle, and my favorite, Virgin Snowfall. I don't know about all that. I do know that when I was a kid, I would get the first snow, roll it up into a ball and put it in the freezer, keep it until it would melt or somehow be thrown away. I don't know why I did that, but maybe Josh did too, and he's finally using it in one of his fragrances. Either way, I'm curious to see what Virgin Snowfall is going to be like in a fragrance. Fantasy note, of course it is, but it's still going to be fun. So if you appreciate subtlety and nuance and strange and unusual notes, aka niche fragrances, then you might want to check out Josh Meyer or Imaginary Authors' The Language of Glaciers. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. There are a ton of new releases that I do want to go over. Some of them I'm looking forward to coming out more than others, but I do want you to tell me which one you are looking forward to most. Maybe one or two, because there are quite a few, and it's sometimes hard to pick. So give me the first two that come up in your mind of fragrances that you're looking forward to coming out, that you know that you're going to at least try a sample of or absolutely buy. What do you feel about the coming lineup of new releases? Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to part 2 of what's happening in men's fragrance. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy going over it. Again, it's one of my favorite segments to do on my channel is to talk about new releases, because it just kind of gets you juiced and stoked for what's happening in the future. It doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon, so there is a lot that's going to be happening coming up when the weather changes from cold weather, spring. We've got spring fragrances we're going to be able to talk about, summertime fragrances we can wipe the dust off of and start spraying brighter citric fragrances in our rotation. So definitely looking forward to that. Again, I appreciate your time and for tuning in, and thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.